I'm going on a trip abroad with a woman using the money from selling the house. After being diagnosed with a terminal illness and hospitalized for treatment, I received a phone call from my husband, Justin. It seems the person he's planning to travel with is the woman he's been having an affair with. He even told me he sold our precious house, which I inherited from my father. I was worried about our 10-year-old son, Kyle, and when I asked Justin about him, his cold reply was, "He'll be fine." My condition worsened due to the shock, and I slowly started to lose hope. However, Kyle, who came to visit me, smiled at me for some reason. "Don't worry, Mom. I've taken care of everything." Kyle spoke to me with confidence. Later, my husband was found in a dreadful state. I am Stacy Wagner, a 37-year-old magazine editor, living in a house inherited from my late father with my husband, Justin, and our son, Kyle. Our house, located in a prime area of the city, is worth about $3 million. My father had said, "Sell it when you need money." However, while a $3 million house might make others think we lived a lavish, celebrity-like lifestyle, in reality it was very ordinary. Though it had an aged appearance, we never let go of our beloved home and continued to live there, lovingly maintaining it over the years. Kyle is incredibly smart, enjoying complex books my father owned, and already fluent in different languages, thanks to his international school education. Justin, on the other hand, is outgoing and works as a manager at a trading company's restaurant. He always uses famous brand items in contrast to my modest lifestyle. He's particular about things like bringing his pajamas to hotels because he doesn't like the cheap ones provided. I knew we had different values when we married, but recently Justin's behavior has become more troubling. He started coming home late, and I began to suspect another woman's presence. One day, as I was about to wash his dress shirt, I noticed a sweet perfume scent from it. "I've been wondering, are you cheating?" "What? No! I smell women's perfume on your shirt and makeup on your suit." "What's that about?" "That's impossible. Maybe it's from the crowded train." My husband, without changing his expression, dismissed me. Not only that, he gradually began to spend more lavishly, and it seemed his own allowance was no longer enough, so he started dipping into our household funds as well. Knowing that cautioning him wouldn't help, I opened a new bank account without his knowledge to prevent him from using the money. I transferred our living expenses to this account and kept the PIN code a secret. When my husband realized he no longer had access to freely spendable money, he approached me, eyes wide with anger. "Why is there no money? I can't even go out for drinks. Give me more money." "We need to save for Kyle's education and other expenses. We can't afford your spending habits." "I'll cut back too, so hope you'll do the same." "If that's the situation, why don't we just sell this house? We'd have plenty of money then." I couldn't bear the thought of selling the house my father left us and let Justin live as he pleases. I strongly opposed the idea. Eventually, the rift between us as a couple deepened beyond a mere difference in values, becoming something that couldn't be simply brushed aside. But my husband enjoyed playing soccer with Kyle, and Kyle seemed happy with his father. I thought, he's only 10. There's still a lot he can learn from his father. I didn't want to divorce for Kyle's sake. But then my illness worsened, leading to hospitalization. The doctor told me that without treatment, I could die within 3 years. Forced into hospitalization, I was feeling down, preparing for a grim future. However, my kind-hearted son, Kyle, did his best to encourage me. I'm worried about you being alone with Dad while I'm in the hospital. Will you be okay? Don't worry about me. The most important thing is for you to get better. Encouraged by Kyle's strong words, I decided to start treatment as soon as possible for his sake. Yet my husband didn't even visit me in the hospital. He only called after my treatment had somewhat progressed. I'm going on a trip abroad with a woman using the money from selling the house. What are you saying? While I'm suffering from this illness? My girlfriend wants to go to Mexico. I can't help it. This is because you were stingy with my allowance, forcing me to sell the house. It's not my fault. After calling me, Justin left the house quickly, prioritizing his time with this other woman, leaving Kyle with a relative. Though I had sensed another woman's presence before, being confronted with it so bluntly was heartbreaking. The resentment of him selling our precious house made me collapse. Stacy Wagner thought, is Kyle okay? I should have given him a cell phone to reach him on times like this. Overwhelmed with guilt for Kyle, my health deteriorated further. Worried beyond measure, I called the school, and as a result, they arranged for Kyle to come to the hospital to visit me. I'm sorry for making you go through this because I'm not at home. It's okay. It's not your fault, Mom. It's all Dad's fault. Aren't you lonely without Dad? And I heard our house is being sold. Do you know when we have to leave? The teachers and Auntie are looking out for me, so I'm fine. You should just focus on getting better, Mom. Although Kyle was concerned about me, I was in a state where I could barely eat. Then, one day after some time had passed, Kyle visited me, holding my hand, smiling. Mom, don't worry. Dad can't sell the house. I did a little trick. Kyle, with a face full of confidence, exuded an aura of reassurance, as if to say, leave it to me. Everything will be all right. What do you mean? Did you do something, Kyle? Well, the house is in your name, right? So Dad can't sell it on his own. I did some research and found out Dad was trying to sell it with forged documents. Really? Are you okay? How did you find out? Wasn't it dangerous? I'm fine. I secretly looked through Dad's papers and found the real estate agent he was dealing with. Then I asked a neighbor to accompany me to the agent, and they let me see the documents. It was easy. Kyle's cheeks reddened a bit as he proudly grinned. Despite his young age, Kyle's proactive and knowledgeable actions impressed me, but it seemed normal for him. My father was a lawyer, so our house was filled with law books. Kyle read them extensively, having a wealth of legal knowledge unusual for a 10-year-old. As a lawyer's daughter, I should have understood the process of selling a house, but between my illness and my husband's betrayal, I couldn't think straight. Then, on that same day, the real estate agent called me directly and I explained the situation. According to the agent, they were only getting ready to sell. Understanding why Justin thought the house was sold and declared his trip made sense to me. Thankfully, our home wasn't sold, and I let out a sigh of relief. My health started to improve, partly thanks to my reliable son, Kyle. Stacy Wagner thought, I can't forgive my selfish husband. I want to get back at him, but I'm ill. I was feeling down, thinking there wasn't much I could do while hospitalized. Then Kyle said, Mom, if you want to get back at Dad, I'll help. With Kyle's wisdom and initiative, I resolved to punish my husband. One day, a week after he left the house, I received a call from an unknown number on my cell phone. "Hello, who is this?" "It's me, your husband, Justin." Justin seemed to be staying at a hotel and called me from the room phone because he didn't have his cell. "Aren't you supposed to be overseas with your mistress? What happened?" "The thing is, the house wasn't sold and I didn't get the money, so I couldn't go to Mexico. I called because I thought you sabotaged it. Confess." He was ranting over the phone. I tried to explain calmly, but he wouldn't listen. Thinking it would be better to talk in person, I asked him where he was staying. I told the doctor that I needed to go to the hotel where my husband was staying to explain things and got permission to leave. Hours later, I finally reached his room. "You're late." "Don't be unreasonable. I had to take care of various procedures and preparations." "And what are you wearing?" Surprisingly, Justin was in his underwear. He always brought his favorite pajamas to hotels, not liking the ones provided. Seeing him like this, I wondered what had happened. While I was stunned, Justin was biting his lip with a grim expression. When I told my girlfriend we couldn't go abroad, she stripped me of my dignity. The next morning, she cut off all contact with me. "So that's why you called me." "You were just a wallet to your mistress. I feel sorry for you." "That's not it. She just got a bit upset because we couldn't go. She'll come around soon." He seemed to be trying to convince himself, talking as if reassuring himself. Then, looking as if he remembered something, he glared at me. "If the sale money had been in my account, none of this would have happened. You did something, didn't you? Tell me." "The sale was voided because your document forgery was discovered." "What? Damn, I thought I could get away with it." He showed no remorse and lay down on the bed, clicking his tongue in frustration. I looked at my pathetic husband and deeply regretted marrying him. "You clearly have no remorse. I can't forgive you for trying to sell the house my father left us for your selfish reasons. I'm filing for divorce." I pulled out the divorce papers I had gotten on my way to the hotel and handed them to him. Yeah, whatever. I approached you in the first place because I thought you, as a lawyer's daughter, would have money. If you're not willing to sell a $3 million house, there's no point in staying married. Go ahead, do whatever." "You're the worst. I'll take custody of Kyle. You're fine with that, right?" "Sure, all he does is study and he's not even cute. Besides, it's better without a kid around when I'm with girls." After signing the divorce papers without hesitation, my husband burst into an oddly loud laugh. "Disgusting. Are you out of your mind? Laughing at a time like this?" "You're pretty naive for a lawyer's daughter. Once we divorce, I'm entitled to half the money from selling the house. That's the law." It seemed like my husband, having given up on selling the house, was desperately trying to get money from me. Then a loud bang sounded from behind me. "Dad, that's not going to happen." Kyle, who had secretly followed me, emerged from where he was hiding near the sink. "Dad, you're so clueless. Property division in a divorce only includes assets acquired together during the marriage. So the house inherited from Grandpa doesn't count. You really don't know anything." "You little brat. Well, if that's the case, I won't divorce you. Stacy will die soon anyway. I'll get the life insurance money, and then the house will be mine to inherit. I can sell it later and make a fortune." "You still don't get it, do you, Dad? Do you think we wouldn't have a plan knowing your scheme? The beneficiary of the life insurance has already been changed to me by the insurance company. But that won't matter because Mom's going to be cured. Indeed, Kyle had found a foreign doctor who could cure my illness. He negotiated and arranged everything. However, the surgery, along with the travel expenses, would cost about $3 million. Our insurance only covered a part of the hospital expenses, making it a tight situation. We don't have that kind of money. He coldly scoffed as if mocking us, but we had a plan. That's right, so we're selling the house to save Mom. What? In fact, we had negotiated directly with the real estate agent Justin was planning to sell to. The agent agreed to buy the house for much higher than the market rate, selling it for $4 million, enabling me to receive the latest medical treatment. Initially, I opposed selling the house as I wanted to leave as much property as possible for Kyle. However, Kyle convinced me by saying, I will make sure Mom gets treatment and is saved. Grandpa in heaven would forgive us for selling the house for this purpose. I was ready to give up on life in my sickbed, but Kyle's dedication to saving me touched my heart. I decided not to leave Kyle alone and agreed to undergo treatment abroad. You two are deceitful. I was the one who found that real estate agent after so much effort. It was a good deal. There's no need to listen to you, Dad, who didn't even try to cure Mom and try to sell the house without permission. Idiot, enjoy your smugness while it lasts. All the money from the sale will go to treatment costs. What will a sickly woman and a grade school kid do to survive? Shut up! Kyle still looked like he wanted to say more, furrowing his brows. However, I felt the conversation might get more complicated, so I asked him to wait in the lobby. Kyle reluctantly left the room. Then I decided to take further revenge on my husband. By the way, next year a savings account my father set up will mature. The amount might be about a lifetime salary for a company employee. I had no idea. Why didn't you tell me about something so important? My husband looked surprised, then glared at me, breathing heavily. However, I had kept it a secret on purpose, knowing his spending habits even before we married. Justin muttered to himself, then suddenly grinned. I never thought you were hiding so much money. All right, I've decided not to divorce you. Justin tried to snatch the divorce papers from me, but I quickly grabbed them and stuffed them into my bag. I won't live with you anymore. I plan to demand compensation for your infidelity and child support for Kyle. Also, I'm going to report to the police that you forged documents to sell our house. Be prepared to pay for your crimes. Hey, wait a minute. Just hold on. Listen to me. The truth is, I had a big fight with my boss, and expecting the house sale money, I just quit my job. I also have debts. You know, I can't pay any money, right? It turns out his debts were incurred to play around with his mistress, and he still had a significant amount to pay back. Justin's face turned pale. Jobless and drowning in debt? And on top of that, if I get arrested, my life is over. I have no future. You could sell your collection of branded clothes and bags to make some money. And if that's not enough, you'll have to work tirelessly without sleep. I'm really sorry, I mean it. Please overlook this just once. I beg you. From now on, I'll do anything you say, please. Finally, Justin even got down on his knees. But no matter how much he apologized, I would never forgive him, and my anger wouldn't subside. As I said earlier, you married me for money. I don't need to be with someone like that. I don't even want to see you ever again. Any further discussions will be through a lawyer." I left my husband kneeling in the hotel room and went to pick up Kyle, heading towards the lobby. Inexplicably, my persistently inappropriate husband followed me. "Please don't leave me. Give me one more chance. Don't touch me. Go away. Don't say that. I'll follow you until you forgive me." Despite my intense objection, Justin wouldn't listen and kept following me to the lobby. But he made a very embarrassing mistake there. "Do you even realize what you're wearing?" "Wait! Oh no!" Justin had forgotten he was only in his underwear, exposing himself to other guests. Since the hotel was glass-fronted, people walking in the streets could see and were laughing at him. Embarrassed, Justin hurried back to his room. That's what he gets for his actions. Pathetic. Kyle, waiting in the lobby, laughed at the sight of his father's humiliating appearance and high-fived me. Later, through a lawyer, our divorce was finalized, securing $40,000 in compensation for my husband's affair and child support for Kyle. Regarding the forgery, though he was temporarily released on bail, the lawyer said he would face some form of punishment. My ex-husband is now being chased by debt collectors and working multiple labor-intensive day jobs to repay his debts. As for the mistress who deceived him, she disappeared without a trace, and the stolen items were never found. After that, Kyle and I immediately went to the different hospital for my surgery. I am now completely cured and living a normal life. Seems like Kyle had wanted to become an international lawyer, so we have decided to live abroad for his studies. I leveraged my experiences and started working as a columnist. Blessed with new friends, Kyle and I are enjoying our happy days.